Just getting ready to film the coffee shop Drivel, and look who's come to say hello. Hello, Blue. Hello. Yes, seems to be one of her favourite places at the moment, sitting on my paper trimmer, looking out the window. Anyway, I'm going to put the kettle on and I'll be with you in a minute. So I've got my drink and Blue is still sitting here. She's having a big yawn. Coffee shop is open, come in. Yeah, you might want to. It's not cold out there and the weather is very strange. I'm battling with clouds, I'm battling with rain, I'm battling with light, I'm battling with sun now. Oh dear, it's going to be one of those. What are you having a sniff at? I think she likes the smell of glue. I do. I think she's a glue sniffer. Anyway, I've got a hot chocolate because I feel meh. Yeah, I do. I still feel meh. And I'm much better than I was, thank you. And the other day I wasn't asking for your pity or sympathy. It was just to explain why I looked so awful and I couldn't be bothered to do anything about it. I have got some makeup on today, and it actually is Thursday as I'm filming this because I'm not required at school today because of the strike action. There's only 2 year groups in school, so I think all agency TAs are not required today. So that's a little bit of a bonus that I'm at home. It's a bonus day and I've got lots to do because, I don't know, I make a to-do list and I don't know, I get quite ambitious with my to-do list and I give myself too much to do. So I did a lot yesterday, but nowhere near as much as I wanted to. And I think at the end of the day, there were still 2 things that were left undone. But Anne Lane, if you're watching, and she usually does, bless her. Do you want a sneak peek? I don't know if I can reach it. Hold on a minute. Oh, 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 oh. Sneak peek. Guess what's in this box? Guess what's in the box? It is your little album. It's finished. That's all I'm going to show you. I've filmed a video of it. I've got to do it back up. So it'll be next week now. God, that was an awful face. I'll be posting these up. I need to just find something nice to package it all in. Can you just email me your address, Anne, as well? Because I know I've got it, but I just want to make sure I send it to the right place after all this time and all this work. I love this box. Yeah, so Anne, everything is finished. Oh, I cannot tell you what a weight that is off my mind. Yes, so what can I talk about today? Lots of things. Barry is here to take your order. I don't think I've got a Barry update today. Yes, lots of people liked the Brussels sprouts debacle. And yes, he has been in a grumpy mood. There's been no further way forward with this injunction that Bob the Builder took out on Barry. So he's still very, yeah, he's not very happy. But he's keeping busy at work and I'm keeping him busy, and he's here to take your order today. Soup of the day today. I think I preferred yesterday's, but the soup of the day today is red lentil, lemon and thyme. Now I like lemon and I like thyme. I'm not a fan of red lentils, but I'll make it. I will make it. Yesterday's soup was a sweet concoction and it was chocolate and rhubarb swirl. I thought that sounded quite interesting. Yes. I think one of the last soups I made, oh yes, you didn't like it. It was the cauliflower and broccoli with mustard. You didn't like the sound of that, but it was very nice with a little bit of Stilton or blue cheese in it. It was very, very nice. Anyway, I've had some magazines from Practical Publishing. I've had Pink Fresh Studio. These are the premium magazines that come in the boxes, and that's the kit. And Hunky Dory, this came out a while ago. There's the magazine. And you get quite a lot of toppers and papers. And there's also a little stamp set, embossing folder and die. I'll take you down and we'll have a little look and see what I made. So very quick magazine flick through. So this has been out a while, Hunky Dory Premium Magazine. It's volume 19. I can't remember what my brief was for this now. I think it was shaped cards, but I can't remember. Anyway, I'm going to keep the magazine because it's got me featured in it, but I have no use for these because I already have these. So I'm happy to give these away. If you'd like to comment down below, Hunky Dory, I'll put you in a drawer. But yes, you get a die, a stamp. Was there a stencil as well? I can't remember. I'm just going to open this, but they've not been used. Oh yes, there was an embossing folder. That was right, an embossing folder, little stamp set, and a die. There's the stamps. Look. Yes, and I think my brief was to use everything that was in the kit, including the papers as well, and use the frames where possible. So Hunky Dory are very good, aren't they, at having these outer frames that you can use. So very, very quick flick through. This was all garden themed. That's quite pretty actually, isn't it? And you see, I like that because it's not your typical Hunky Dory. I think when we think Hunky Dory, we imagine kind of shaped frames like that, shaped toppers, don't we? And the foiling, the gold and silver foiling. But it just shows that you can do your own inky style using their products. So yeah, I think mine are quite near the beginning. That's nice. I like that. That obviously isn't Hunky Dory. Oh, it is. I think it's a new thing. Here we go. Here's mine. So the gardener. Head into a glorious garden with these botanical beauties from Ashley. Pete says I look very smug in that photo. So I had to make 5 cards. There's 4 featured on here. Oh, it's just started raining. So I did a shaker easel using the shape of that topper that is on the topper sheet that I just showed you. And yeah, so there was that. This, it's a pity they didn't do a bigger picture of this actually. So it actually pops out in the middle. So you open it and then it's got this little scene inside that pops out. Just knocked my glue over. Yeah. And then this was a slide and lock card. So you've got this bit, again, using the frames. Yes, and I liked this paper here. And using it to create a different shape. I quite like that. Although it's a square card. Then you've got the circle top in, and this slides off and it unlocks. And then I did a flower pot card using the stamps and a bit of embossing folder there. I quite like that one. And then the final one, Mike, who's the editor of these premium magazines, wanted a watering can. And I did a watering can card. So it's a gift card holder inside. Or yeah, you can slot your gift card in there. So I've used the die, I've used the stamps on there, a little bit of ink blending, colouring in. Yeah, so that was that. Yeah, and I did a shape that was easy to replicate at home without using a die. I was quite proud of that. So that's that. So yeah, if you want to be in with a chance of winning this and this, I think because this is heavy, I'm going to say UK only for this one. Okay, because it is heavy. So UK only. Comment Hunky Dory somewhere. Sun's trying to come out now as well. And then this one has come out recently. But Pink Fresh Studio. And yeah, if you want to be in with a chance of winning this little giveaway, I'm going to keep the magazine, as I say, but this little bundle here, you've got a stamp set, and you've got 3 stencils, 3 layering stencils. Is it 3 or is it more? Might be more, might be 5. Yeah, 5 layering stencils, which I'd never used before. So if you want to be in with a chance, I will send this international because it's not so heavy. There's a happy birthday die as well. And as I say, I've already got one of these, so I don't need 2, do I? And that is stuck to there. Let's get you back in. Blue's on here, licking herself, if you can hear any licking noises. Oh, can't get it in. As the bishop said to the actress. No, I'll do that later. Yes, and there's great big paper pad in this. I shall keep the papers because I like these little sentiments. So I can't remember what the brief was for this. I think it might have been off the page. So I don't think it was just cards. Or I don't think it even was cards. I can't remember. Oh, yes, there we go. Yeah, off the page. There's me at the back. Yes, Mike wanted a hot air balloon. So I've made a hot air balloon from the papers. Fussy cut some of the images there. Lovely paper. I really liked that. And I liked the colour palette of this as well. Yeah. So I've made some templates. Harry showed me how to do it. Well, he did it for me, if I'm honest. So yeah, we've got a template for the box and a template for the balloon shape. So yeah, there's a little box with note cards in. Do you remember I made one of those on my channel before? So using the papers. And then this was using the layering stencils, which are very nice to use actually. I've just done a little calendar. I did a to-do board. So it's got a little notebook there, which you can slide out to refill, a little box for your chalks. And I did a chalkboard here. So I painted some packaging with blackboard paint. And there's the little balloon. Oh yes, and I did a little milk carton gift box. Yes. So if you want to be in with a chance of winning the little giveaway for that, comment Pink Fresh Studio. And then I just thought I'd show you this. Year 10 GCSE at school, they're working on a project for their GCSE, and the lad that I'm working with, he's not particularly inspired, and I just thought I'd have a go at what the teacher had asked him to do to try and inspire him. So I had a go at collage, and yeah, I spoiled it a bit by this bit here. I think I put some texture paste, translucent texture paste through a stencil and spritzed, I think it was this was Cosmic Shimmer powders, and this was Pretty Gets Gritty infusion powder or something like that, explosion powder. But I made a little poem a la Betsy Doodle. It says, his scorning power of mind, see tears and this softening touch, foreseen by such rebel angels, left empty in heaven, tempted one. Doesn't make sense, does it? But yeah, I quite enjoyed doing it. Yeah, I don't think it'll get a grade at GCSE. I'll take you back up top now. So, as I said in that little segment, if you would like to win the kit, the Hunky Dory one, you need to just comment Hunky Dory. I'll do a random draw. I can't send that one international, I'm afraid, because it is quite heavy. But the other one, the Pink Fresh Studio, the stencil, the layering stencil, and the die and stamp set. I'll send that internationally. So comment Pink Fresh, I think I said, or Pink Fresh Studio. I can't remember. Yeah. Anyway, you might want to be entered for both, in which case you'll probably comment both. So I'll do a random draw at some point, and I'm wittering on now. Talking of wittering on, I hope Barry's looking after you. Oh yes. One of the reasons I'm drinking a hot chocolate is because I just feel I need that comfort. And if you saw Secret Diary of a Serial Dieter this week, I won't tell you the outcome in case you haven't seen it and you want to go and watch that video. But I was feeling quite optimistic and positive, and yeah, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna really, you know, go for it this 4 weeks. Well, Tuesday night, Mr. Paper&Twine had a bad day at work, and he says, shall we have a chippy tea? We were supposed to be having leftover stew and mash and veg, and me being weak-willed, yeah, go on then. We haven't had a chippy tea for ages. On the positive side, the portion of chips, we share a portion of chips. Got to remember, back in the day, I used to have a portion of chips to myself and eat them all. The portion of chips was quite small between the two of us, yes. The fish was massive. And actually, fish, if you don't eat the batter from the chip shop, isn't too bad for you. But that was nice. Yeah, so that was that. So then I was at knitting yesterday. Wasn't too bad. I had soup of the day, which I'm not quite sure what it was, but it was lovely. It got a real chilli kick to it. It was a vegetable soup of some sort, but I did have cheesy fries with it. And then a while ago, one of Pete's friends phoned him up and said, I'm in the area, do you want to go out for breakfast? He says, I know somewhere quite close to you. So Pete said, yeah. Anyway, it's this place called Catthorpe Manor Farm Shop. And I've been there in the past, not for breakfast. I've been there for like cake and coffee. And it is really nice. And it's a proper working farm. And they raise their own lamb, sheep and cattle. And so the bacon and sausages are from their own, what were they called? British Lop pigs. And oh, it was lovely. Yeah, I had full English. There might be a short going up at some point today of it. Yeah, so not made the best start to the diet. So we're having leftover stew tonight. Back to school tomorrow. I'm going to try and be good. What have I got coming up? Don't know really. We haven't got any entertaining planned, although we are going to a gastro pub on the 25th of March for Pete's mum's 90th birthday. Yeah, so it's a small family do. We've made our food choices already, so I'm having, I mean, it's not cheap, this place, and I have to say the menu wasn't all that, you know, I wasn't thinking, oh, I must have that, oh, I must have that. So I think I've chosen for my starter shell-on prawns. They're cooked some way with nduja, salt pig nduja. Don't know what that is. Anyway, yeah. So I'm having that for my starter, and then for my main, I'm having flat iron grilled chicken with Caesar salad. Yeah, and it's not cheap. And the sun has come out. Anyway, yes. I thought today I would reveal my 5 truths and 5 myths. So we'll just look at the comments first. A lot of you went down the road of saying that 1, 3, 4, 5 and 8 were true. Jenny thinks it, Jenny Ginger Ninja Crafts nominated me. She thinks it's 1, 3, 4, 5 and 9. but it's quite a lot went 1, 3, 4, 5 and 8. And quite a few that went 1, 3, 4, 5 and 9. Someone said, I hope it was Mellis Makes. I kind of love the idea of you being arrested because it feels so crazy for you, but I'm here for it. I could be absolutely wrong, but I'll take my chances. Yeah. And then she goes on to say about my frugality, which I might talk about in a minute. Yeah, there was a real range of guesses actually. Oh yeah, I'm just seeing Tina Gillam Evans's comment. Cauliflower and broccoli are both the devil, both of the devil. Yuck, yuck, yuck. Can I have cheesy sarnie today, please? And Chatty Batty doesn't like the broccoli and cauliflower idea anyway. Yeah, so let's now reveal what the 5 truths and 5 myths are. So I will remind you, number 1 was I have taken off in a plane more time. Oh, God, I've said it wrong. Number 1, I have landed in a plane. No, I've said that wrong now. I have taken off in a plane more times than I've landed. The original was I've jumped out of a plane at 13,000 feet. And Pete said, oh no, change it. Yes, so I've taken off in a plane more times than I've landed. That is true. I did do a parachute jump 25 years ago. Molly was 4 months old. My eldest, my firstborn, was 4 months old. And my husband has always wanted to do skydiving. And we went to France with some friends on holiday. Was that time or was it not? I can't remember. No, I think we must have just gone by ourselves. Yes, the first time we went by ourselves, that's right. And we went to France and Pete wanted to qualify to be able to do a skydive anywhere. And you have to do so many jumps. And because Molly was so small and I was going to be on my own all day, we took a friend with us to help me because, like, you know, new mum abroad, first time mum. Anyway, yes, I remember that very well. And I didn't do it by myself. I wasn't that brave. I did a tandem jump and it was really exciting. I was so worried about it. And I was strapped to this like 6'4" hulk of a guy who was called Rod. And he'd travelled all around the world teaching skydiving and training people to learn how to skydive. And he was Pete's instructor. And both Susie, the friend that I took, and I did this tandem jump. And I was so worried about it. Oh, I was really worried about it. And it's the most exhilarating thing I've ever done. Even now, we've got a video of it somewhere. Even now, I just, yeah. And I remember saying to Rod, I'm really worried about, you know, jumping out the plane and about the falling bit. He says, oh, it's not the falling you've got to worry about, it's the landing. It's you know, nothing's going to hurt you while you're hurtling out of the plane. It's when you hit the ground. And talking of which, on that particular holiday, where were we? We were I think we were near Royan, La Rochelle. It was on the coast in France. It was beautiful. It got a beautiful view. But Pete did actually land badly and had a suspected broken ankle. Yeah. And then we went back a couple of years later when Harry was about 2 months old. So Molly would have been 2 and Harry was 2 months old. And yeah, we went with some friends who were skydivers and yeah, we did more. So yes, I have done that. So that one was true. Number 2 is I absolutely love broad beans. That is false. I hate them. And I have a childhood memory of my dad growing them. My dad grew a lot of his veg in those days when I was a kid. And They were horrible. My mum overcooked them, and she didn't pod them properly. So I believe the actual the actual beans inside the casing are quite nice, but I've been put off them forever and ever and ever. But my mum used to boil them till they were grey. Oh, they were horrible. And she didn't like them herself, but she made me eat them. Hated them. So that one is false. Number 3, I have grade 8 piano with distinction. A lot of you thought that was true. It is false. I do not have grade 8 piano with distinction. However, I do have grade 8 clarinet with distinction. I've got grade 6 piano with no recommendations. It's just a bog standard grade 6 piano. Number 4 was I have been on TV. That is true. I have been on TV. When I was in the 6th form at school, our music teacher was quite well known within the city of Birmingham. He was the musical director of a choir called Ex Cathedra, which I believe is still going, I don't know. But it's a world-renowned choir, and people have had professional singing careers, classical singing careers off the back of this. Anyway, somebody from Central TV phoned the music advisor for the city of Birmingham and said, oh, we're looking for a group of carol singers or singers to do a little spot we're doing on carol singing on the news, on the local news. Can you recommend anybody? So this person gave our music teacher's phone number. And so he rustled us up. It was on the day. He rustled us up, took us in the minibus to Birmingham, and we did this little spot. They were doing a little news item about how carol singing is essentially begging and it's illegal. And they dressed us all up in hats and scarves and things, and we sang a little 4-part arrangement of, I don't know, Away in a Manger or something. But it was great. We got a little tour of Central TV studios, and those of you that are of a certain age, it was in the days when Crossroads was still going, and they were filming bits of it in corridors and things. And there used to be this joke, didn't there, about, you know, all the scenery moving and everything in Crossroads, which is what Acorn Antiques was built on, based around. Yeah, so I have been on TV. Number 5. I've met the singers Beverly Craven, Julia Fordham and Judy Zook. And that is also true. Pete and I went to a concert at Birmingham Town Hall. Must have been before the pandemic. Just wondering if I've got that thing here hanging off here. Yeah. And we bought VIP tickets for not a lot extra for the main ticket price. So the 3 singers were singing together, doing a show together. And we bought VIP tickets, which meant that we got to meet them before the show, or was it after the show? I can't remember. And, you know, they came and introduced themselves to us and stuff. So, yeah. I used to love Julia Fordham back in the sort of like very late 80s, early 90s. I was really into her. If you don't know who Julia Fordham is, I can recommend her album Porcelain. Beautiful, beautiful singer, as are all of them. Number 6, I can speak Russian. Niet. That's the only word of Russian I know. Oh, and Dos Vidania. So that was false. Number 7, I've qualified to drive an HGV, heavy goods vehicle. That is also false. However, it is on my bucket list that I would like to drive a huge Pantechnicon or Juggernaut. I just don't know what it is. I fancy, mind you, I don't know how I'd get up into it. Talking of which, my next door neighbours, Helen and Graham, they came for dinner on Saturday. Graham likes his vehicles, and he's recently bought a Land Rover Defender. And he's had to have steps fitted so that Helen can get into it. Yeah, so I don't know how I'd get into an HGV. Number 8. I've been talking that long, my hot chocolate's nearly gone cold. I've been in the Guinness Book of Records. And yes, I have. I have been in the Guinness Book of Records. Again, when I was at school, we had a teacher, a chemistry teacher called Dr. Campbell. He was weird. He lived not far from me, actually. Station Road he lived. And he was a real mad professor type. He'd got, you know, really mad scientist hair. And yeah, I remember I got caught chewing in a chemistry lesson, and he made me stay behind after school and write 1,000 times I must not chew gum in class, and also clean the inside of the chemistry lab windows. You wouldn't be able to do that today, I don't think, health and safety and all that. But he was a keen runner, a keen athlete, and he came up with this idea. It must have been 1980. I think it was the year of the Moscow Olympics. He came up with this idea of doing the world's longest relay race. And I don't know whether this record still stands, but we did 1,000 miles, and it was a continuous race. So I think there were about 700 students at the school at the time. And all the staff did a mile. We all had to run a mile around a track at Windley Leisure Centre, and it went all through the night. So people were like, I think the teachers allocated your slot for when you were going to run your mile, and you had to be available, you know, because literally it was passing on the baton. So yeah, it went all through the night and everything. I can't remember. I didn't get an interesting time. I got a really, really boring time. And some of us walked it, you know, because it wasn't like a race as in, you know, how long are we going to take doing it kind of thing. It was just the distance. And there were some celebrity athletes did a mile. There was a runner who'd got a bronze Olympic medal or something, or a Commonwealth medal or something, did the first mile. Yeah, so we did get in the Guinness Book of Records for that, so I believe. Number 9, I've owned 4 rabbits called River, Pepper, Nutmeg and Squirrel. That is Scribble. That is also true. Yeah, so I think the first pets that we had were fish, tropical fish. We loved our tropical fish, actually, and we had one. She was the only one left for a very long time. It was like, can you hurry up and die now, because we're not buying any more fish, and we don't want, it's an awful thing to say, and we don't need the fish tank anymore. And she kept going and kept going and kept going. She was called Penny, but we think she was responsible for eating all the other fish at some point. Yeah, at one point the tetras had baby tetras, so at one point there were like lots of baby tetras, and then there were none, and I think it was Penny. I think she ate them all. Yeah. So yeah, the kids had rabbits, and they were lovely. They were mini lops, and they lived outside. So I think we had River and Pepper first. Pepper was black and River was grey. And then we had Nutmeg and Squirrel. And Nutmeg was a chocolate mini lop, and Scribble was a, what did they call it? A magpie mini lop. Yeah. River didn't live very long. And it was really sad, actually. We were up on holiday in Scotland, and our neighbours were looking after the rabbits for us. And we were driving back from Scotland, and I remember we were kind of like near the Lake District, and this neighbour rang up and said, "Oh, are you coming home soon? Because your rabbit's not very well, and we've looked after it, but it's really not very well. And I hope it's nothing that we've done." Yeah, and I think Molly must have been about 12, I want to say. And she was heartbroken. We took the rabbit to the vet on the Sunday, and the vet said, yeah, there's nothing we can do. Once a rabbit stops eating, because they have to eat constantly pretty much, there's not what they can do. So they euthanized the rabbit, and she was like, I think that was her first experience of loss, you know, bless. But Nutmeg and Scribble lived quite a long time. I've taken loads of time, haven't I, here? The last one, number 10, my favourite perfume is Happy by Clinique. I have worn that in the past, and I do really like it, but lots of you have heard me say that my favourite perfume is Jo Malone's Nectarine and Honey Blossom, or Honey Blossom and Nectarine. I love that, but it's too expensive for me to buy at the moment, so I've got a Marks and Spencer's. It's got nectar in it rather than nectarine, and it's it gives me the same vibes, but it's nothing like. But I think that was £12.50, whereas the Jo Malone's over £100 now. Yes, and it comes in a beautiful box and all that, but yeah. Anyway, that is... Oh! I did change one, actually. Oh, yes. Yeah. I changed it. So, oh, yeah, because people... Yeah, I got Pete to have a look. He said, oh, people will guess your perfume on. So I changed it to I've been proposed to 5 times. That is true. I have been proposed to 5 times. The first time was when I was 4 and my cousin Lee proposed to me under my dad's baby grand piano. We were playing a game. So I was 4 and he'd been 6. And then I got proposed to by a childhood sweetheart and I said no. Then I got proposed to when I was 21 and I said yes. And we did buy a flat and live together, but I think he went off with somebody else. That broke my heart. I never took a long time to get over that. And then the person that proposed to me before proposed to me again, and I thought about it but said no. And then obviously Mr. Paper&Twine proposed to me. That was the 5th one and I said yes. So those are my 5 truths, 5 myths. Which ones did you find surprising? And I've whittled on far too long and I've got loads to do. So I will be back. Oh, I've got a jigsaw piece. I haven't opened it. It's arrived today and I know it's from Shirley Meldrum. So I shall perhaps put that up. I might film it Sunday and put it up for Monday. Next week, I'm going to do a little summary of my secret diary of a serial dieter, because it will be 2 years next week since I started that journey. I've not made a very good start to this week, so let's hope things have changed by the time I film that. Anyway, do take care. I hope everybody's well. Stay safe, stay warm, stay hydrated and well fed. That's my advice to you. Bye now. Editing me here, I've made a right cock up of my 5 truths and 5 myths because I changed a couple of the things after Mr. Paper&Twine looked at the list. So number 9, I talked about my rabbits, which was a true. Yes, so it didn't add up. So I'm just going to go through. Number 1, I've jumped out of a plane. True. Number 2, love broad beans. False. Number 3, grade 8 piano with distinction. It's false. Number 4, I've been on TV. True. Number 5, I've met the singers. True. Number 6, I can speak Russian. False. Number 7, I've qualified to drive an HGV. False. Number 8, I've been in the Guinness Book of Records. True. Number 9 should have been, I've been arrested. Many of you would have loved that to be true. I'm sorry, it is false. But you got to learn about my bunny rabbits. And number 10, I've been proposed to 5 times, which is true. Those are the 5 truths, 5 myths. Oh, note to self, be more organised. I really am going. Bye now.